how did it work to, like, what made it, what's the element that made it successful, that made it like, okay, now it's growing, I can see that starting to make money and having, you know, partners and sponsors and all of that?
I think honestly, we did not have any partners until the fourth month of starting it. So actually, the first 4 months, we were like really, really stressed out because we're like, we don't know if we can keep running it like this. But also being realistic, most startups don't make money at that
Yeah.
period. But we just had to because we had no plan B. And like, for me, I don't know if this is fortunately or unfortunately, I did not have that golden parachute. A lot of
Yeah.
people, they have a golden parachute, whether that's, you know, a trust fund or like a spouse that has a decent living. I did not have rich parents. I had a single mom, actually.
Yeah.
So I did not have that. And I think that it is unfortunate, but also very fortunate in a way that it really motivated me of like, okay, it's either you make this work and you don't. And I think ultimately the element is that we're very aggressive. Like when something we're very good at trend listening. When something emerges, we want to do it right away. And we really sit down and plan, how do we do this in a way that's different, that's meaningful to our audience? So we know our intentions really well, which is that our audience needs to gain something from this. How do we make sure that they do? And how is the best way to really represent this? So I think we're very aggressive in that way. We're very fast paced. And I think most importantly is we're very careful with the content that we curate. So for example, if it's a brand with ethical issues, we would never like cover them whatsoever. Even if they pay us, we would not. So I think we have our intentions really clear.
Okay. Do you have an example of, I think it's great that you are focused on that, you know, a fast paced, you have a fast pace, because especially also as a media business, but especially with, you know, the world now, do you have an example of, you know, trends that you spotted and then you really actively acted on it?
I would say there's a lot of things. Like, for example, recently we knew about like Harry Potter today, like got casted. We're already working on it. Like, when we hear something, I think having someone on your team who's very good at trend spotting is so important for a media company because they're really in on like what's going to come out, what's
Yeah.
going to be big. So I think that's one of the examples, but we do it all the time with like fashion as well. When we start to see certain fashion trends emerging, we do it for F&B too, I would say. But yeah, I would say in general, and pop culture. I think pop culture is a really big one that we try to cover, but we make it relevant to our
This is
audience.
what helps you grow as well with your first guest star, I would say.
Yeah. It really, really helped us like having pop culture, but we make it relatable in a way like, what can we learn from these
Okay.
instances? What can we learn from these figures? And I think, yeah, that's what really, really helped us as well. And I think strategy, like knowing the market, knowing what's missing, what's your competitive edge, and how you can really harness that to your advantage is really important. So strategy, I would say, and every month, you know, because your strategy can change depending on your situation, your growth. So reflecting on your current growth and then re-strategizing, I think that's really important. So we know our strategy very clearly and we know what's our positioning in the market, and we really try to highlight that with every single piece that we do. I think that's really helped us with our
Very
growth.
focused. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to find a way to test the market, right? And I
Yeah.
think in some cases that's hard. Obviously, if you're building a whole technology or you know, a whole new app or anything, it's a little bit harder to test. But you can test along the way and make sure that you're getting positive customer feedback on what you're building. I
Okay.
think a lot of times people who start new businesses grow a whole business and then go to market and try to convince people that this is what they want. And I think in my opinion, the better way to do it, which a lot of successful entrepreneurs do, is to make sure you're staying in step with the market and in step with your customer to get feedback on everything from what is your product, what is your service, what is the pricing, what are the geographies that work best, you know, all of that stuff. here in Asia, people are just starting to get into. There was a little bit going around Japanese whiskey, but this is 10, 12 years ago. So it wasn't like the world that we're in today. And so I literally just spent a whole weekend researching everything I could find on the internet about the Scotch whiskey industry. And what I found was this imbalance between supply and demand of old and rare single malt whiskeys. And that led to the creation of the Platinum Whiskey Fund, which we ran for 7 years, which was a private equity fund focused on buying bottles of old and rare whiskeys. Okay. And then one of the big learnings we had out of that was that we didn't really control the exit strategy because we were a wholesaler, right? We were buying and selling, we had 12,000 bottles of old and rare whiskey at one point. So then Rare Whiskey Holdings now is the company where we invest in companies, mostly so far in Scotland actually, that are involved in different parts of the supply chain. So we don't get involved in making the whiskey. We're not we don't have a distillery. We're not actually making. We leave that to the great people who have done it for 600 years. We have an auction business called Whiskey Hammer. We have an e-commerce business, Still Spirit. We have our own cask company, our own warehousing. We have our own independent bottling brand called Halcyon. So this whole journey has been an evolution of learning, seeing where we were maybe not, where we didn't meet customer needs, and then adding companies or investing in companies that add that particular need for people who are into and want to learn about whiskey.
So you started with like taking clients in a small room you rented in Hong Kong. So you got to start somewhere, like bootstrapping a lot. So what is the thing that made your business take off? Like, when did you realize, oh, I can actually do something with this?
Okay. Basically, I didn't really quit my job. I still work as like a part-time music teacher.
Okay.
And then I rent a room. So that room is pretty small, like maybe less than 100 square feet, something like that. So I work everything myself. I have a beauty bed. I have my tools and pigments and machines, just get ready to work. And then first I work on my friends because they start with bad eyebrows. They have like blue eyebrows or red eyebrows. They had some bad work.
Quality. Yeah.
They had some bad work done on their eyebrows, and then they wanted me to correct it.
Okay.
But then I didn't know that, actually correction work is so much harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I try because they think, oh, actually, Rebecca, you can do it. I trust you. Yeah. So I work on them. And then actually I practice a lot on them. And then they are my walking billboard. So they're wearing my work. Basically, I don't have to spend any money on marketing or ad or any campaign because they just walk around and, they are showing their friends, oh, this is the new permanent makeup, new eyebrows. Okay. Yeah. So
I love that. Walking billboards.
Yeah. They just like advertising on their face. Yeah. Like advertising my work on their face.
Okay.
Yeah. This is how I started. Yeah.
So then you got more and more clients over time.
Yes. Wow. It's because I think I started a good business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, there was probably a gap in the market, or because there's a lot of beauty products, and there are some clinics. But what was did you observe like anything about your competitors?
Yes,
competition.
Because in the beginning, I look at Facebook, and then I see someone advertised as invisible eyeliner. I was like, what is this invisible eyeliner? It means lash tattoo. Lash liner. So you draw a line which basically invisible just to enhance your lashes.
Oh.
So basically it's a lash line to make your eyes more open. I saw this ad on Facebook. It's a Korean ad. So I said, oh, it's interesting. Why Korean like to do invisible eyeliner? So it's the name catch me.
Okay.
And then I found, is there any places I can learn it in Hong Kong? And then I learned it. It's because of the catching word. Okay. And then, I start to notice, oh, maybe I should learn it too. Yeah.